Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Sangham saranam gacchāmi, Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchāmi, Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchāmi, Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchāmi. I remember in my early days of monastic life, after I'd been ordained as a monk, first went barefooted out of the forest where our monastery was in northeast Thailand, poor, rural part of Thailand, walking across the rice fields into the villages. That the children would see us coming, walking quietly, single file out of the forest. And they would announce, they would shout, "The monks are coming, the monks are coming." And the villagers, those who wanted to start their day in a beautiful way, they would come out from their houses, which were on stilts, to the pathways, the dirt roads, and wait for us. The children would join in too and offer a little pinch of rice into each bowl, or half a banana, or a few leaves from salad, or some food that was part of what was going to be their meal that they would share. And that feeling, all those feelings, as I walked back to the monastery, gathered the food together, and then had our meal for the day. And over the years, our bodies as monastics was, all of it was a result of offerings. That gratitude, that offering in faith, motivated, inspired me then to offer myself to the practice, to make my life an offering. The Buddha set up his order that way. The Buddha realized that dana, generosity, offering was a foundation. It's the beginning, the foundation of the holy life, and also the ultimate expression, even after the Buddha's awakening. When he pondered what do I do now? He reflected, someone who does not have something to serve lives unhappily. What can I serve? He thought, I can serve the Dharma. He spent the rest of his life giving himself wholeheartedly to the welfare of the Dharma, of all living beings, of the whole. Generosity is an immeasurable principle. It's the first paramita, that quality that takes us from suffering, across the sea of suffering, to freedom, to the home territory, to well-being. And also, as I was saying, it's such a profound, profound gift. In all the wisdom teachings, noticing there's no touching into the timeless, no touching in to the ever-inviting, ever-present, deathless realm, unless there's a giving back. Because the root of suffering is this appropriation, is grasping. Taking to be me and mine what isn't me and mine. It belongs to Mother Nature. So offering. Generosity begets generosity. It's an immeasurable principle. I encourage all of us to reflect on this. Reflect on the joy of giving, allowing energy to flow through us.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. I well, just underline that with you're talking about the early days of monastic life, and in this clip you see the picture. I'm offering some food in Tajin Charles' bowl, and I still feel happy about that. And all of the times that I worked in the kitchens, on retreats, and in the monastery, I always felt such a lot of joy to be able to prepare food for people, and offering the Dharma as a different kind of food, offering our work in whatever realms we can offer from that heart of dana, to contribute into the growing and the maintenance and sustaining of the wholesome in this world, where there's so much challenge in these times. This is the medicine of the heart. This, as we're gifted everything from Mother Nature, the food, the breath we take, the water that we drink, we in turn offer back. And this timeless principle of sharing is rooted in the depth of understanding that nothing ultimately belongs to us, that we're in a world of the possible beauty of this sharing is that we can evolve into a world where we evolve out of the mind that's just trying to extract everything and hold on to everything for the self. That's just such a diminished way of living. That joy, as the Buddha said, emerges from dana. Love, generosity, kindness, sustaining these at this time is already an act of transformation. So yes, as we carry on our work and continue to share the Dharma, supporting the growth and the development of Dharma with the many people that we work with without supporting the Dharma, we appreciate your support to help us do that. We appreciate it very much. And we thank you, and we extend all blessings. And that may the blessings of the Dharma be always with you. Those that support the Dharma are supported by the Dharma. This is what we were taught in our monastic training, and this is actually what's been true in our lives in an extremely profound, nourishing, rich, mysterious way. So holding faith to this medicine, sharing in this path of generosity.
A group of Buddhist monks on their arms round. Their order has existed in the East for 2,500 years, and they've come to England now in response to a growing interest here in Buddhism. They aim to live the simple and disciplined life which the Buddha laid down for the earliest forest monks. There are many Buddhist groups in Britain, but this is the first attempt at such a traditional approach. They have to follow 227 rules which govern every aspect of their life. The rules provide them with a framework for developing spiritual insight and what the Buddhist scriptures call loving kindness towards all creation. the community consists of about 20 monks, novices and lay followers. Their day has begun at 4 a.m. with meditation followed by chanting in Pali. But very little of their day is taken up with ceremonies. They've just moved into a derelict Victorian house with a 100-acre forest nearby. Their first task was to clear up all the debris and make it habitable. Monks are trained to be content with little. They eat only one meal a day. They don't listen to music, watch television or read novels. They have to remain celibate and they are permitted few possessions. Their aim is to be free of everything which might distract them from their main task, putting into practice the Buddha's teaching about the path to enlightenment. The spiritual head of the order is the Venerable Ajahn Chah. He has come from Thailand for a few weeks to lend his support to the new sanctuary.
ในเวลานี้ชาวตะวันตกนี้กำลัง
Many people in the West today seem to have much dissatisfaction and unhappiness in their hearts, and they feel they don't have a satisfactory means of dealing with it. The teachings of the Buddha offer the practice of meditation, which is a way of solving problems and overcoming confusion. We've been invited over here because many people want to learn how to put the teaching into practice, with the aim of finding a path through their confusion towards peace and calm.
เพราะความวุ่นวายเป็นเหตุ
But how is all this going to go down in West Sussex? For hundreds of years, Western Christians have exported their religion. Now, for the first time, the West is on the receiving end. To try to explain this and many other points, soon after they arrived, they held a meeting in the village hall. A film was shown on their parent monastery in Thailand, where most of them were trained.
These monks in northeast Thailand are on Bindabat, the daily dawn walk to receive their food offered by the villagers. They're not allowed to possess money, nor grow their own food. This ensures their total dependence on the lay community, so they can't cut themselves off in a spiritual cocoon. For the laity, Bindabat is a way of paying respect to the discipline of the monks, and also a way of making merit, which many believe brings good fortune in this life and in future rebirths.
Rumours in the Sussex village have been rife. If they weren't the Moonies, then they were communist spies, or the abbot was the king of Thailand in disguise. There were many questions to be answered. The meeting was chaired by the local vicar.
Would anybody like to start the ball rolling?
I think this is the most remarkable event which this hall has ever seen. And I'm quite prepared to believe that I shall wake up tomorrow and it was all a dream. And my question is, what is the...
Their one meal a day has to be eaten before noon. Part of their food will be grown by their lay helpers, and the rest will be donated by Buddhist supporters from further afield. Today it's been given by the Hampshire Buddhist Society. This temporary dining room was provided by their chairman, who owns a marquee company. You don't have to be a monk to be a devout Buddhist. You can lead an active business life, provided it's not an immoral one.
We've come today to offer a meal to the monks, which is known as Dharma, and this is an act of giving which establishes a sort of a relationship between lay people and the monks. And it's not, as is often thought, a case of just giving something to gain merit, but ideally, or in the perfect way, giving Dharma is a case of giving a little bit of oneself, and so it's in keeping with all the basic Buddhist teachings.
The Buddha said, when a man attains wisdom through the teaching, he becomes serene and at peace, like a lake, which is deep, clear, and still.
Many people say Buddhism is very nihilistic, which, when you look at it in terms of you, your little self, living in this vast universe, it is. It's a total annihilation in a sense. But it's an annihilation of that small-minded way of looking at the world, always from you, ego-centered thing. But that's not all there is. And when that dies, something very beautiful comes into being. And that's the side of people who don't understand when they make that accusation. And as I've seen with people who've meditated, the more they've stuck it and meditated and their self has been ground away, they just start to blossom. It's incredible. I mean, if that's death, I mean, that's fine with me.
All this can never be fully understood if all we do is talk about it. Just as we can never know whether an apple tastes sweet or sour, unless we actually taste it for ourselves. The ultimate truth is like the flavor of an apple, which you can't see with the eye or hear with the ear. The only way to experience it is to put the teaching into practice. Once you've tasted it, you'll no longer be in any doubt about its flavor, and you won't have to ask anyone else. The problem will be solved.
Samma Sambuddhassa